To begin with the discussion of understanding ancient civilization, we begin with a hypothetical analysis. Compare chimpanzee intelligence with human intelligence. The genetic difference between man and chimpanzee is only 1%. But this 1% produces huge difference of intelligence, like Einstein. Can a chimpanzee become Einstein? No. An adult chimpanzee has brain capacity like that of a 3 or 4 years human kid. Now, similarly, think in same scale, there is a superior human species with whom we have 1% genetic difference. How immense their intellectual capacity will be relative to us. For example, their 3 or 4 years kid, preschoolers would be able to do general relativity, quantum mechanics. Their preschoolers will be equal to our Newton and Einstein. Compared to them, we are like chimpanzees who can just study quantum physics and general relativity, which their preschoolers can do. Now I'm saying that in previous times, say in Neolithic, for example, there was a superior human species who had similar 1% genetic superior to us. They are superior in human intelligence. Look at this graph. This graph is saying as Einstein is superior to chimpanzee, so is Aristotle is superior to Einstein. Like a chimpanzee doesn't have the capacity to understand the intelligence of Einstein, knowledge of Einstein. Einstein doesn't have the capacity to understand the intelligence and knowledge of Aristotle. We naturally think Aristotle was a Homo sapiens, Einstein was a Homo sapiens. So they are equal, brain is equal. No, not brain is equal. That's a wrong concept, a mistaken concept. Aristotle's or ancient people were superior to us in intelligence. We are chimpanzees relative to them. Now we come to understand the ancient civilization. Now we can explain why ancient civilization like pyramids, Machu Picchu, Kailash Temple, Stonehenge, Pumapunku, things like this appear mysterious, puzzling, enigmatic to us because they are built by humans who were superior to us in intelligence. That's why do not understand their construction, how these architectures work, how these structures were constructed, engineered. We do not have the capacity to understand. That's why it's appeared to us enigmatic. Like a gorilla, can a gorilla understand the science and engineering of, uh, of the Empire State Building? No, because it doesn't have simply the capacity to understand. The same way, we don't have the capacity to understand the science of engineering and intelligence of the ancient people, so we don't understand how ancient structures were built. Look, this ancient structure of Pumapunku is like laser cutting technology. How they did it with chisels and hammers. If we go back in time, we'll see that the chisel and hammers are working as laser cutting technology because their intelligence is superior. Their science was superior to us. So we'll not be able to understand their science. It will seem to us like magic. For example, does a monkey understand how laser cutting technology works? To a monkey, laser is like magic. How light beam can cut through irons. They will not understand. The same thing, we cannot understand how chisel and hammers can work as laser cutting technology. It's magic to us because it's superior science. We don't have the intelligence to understand. Look at this graph. It's important. It's showing the nature of human intelligence. As like radioactive isotopes, radioactive isotope decays with time. Like in first life, it remains 100%. In second life, it becomes 50%. In third life, 25%. In fourth life, 12%, and so on. This way, radioactive particles decay. Similarly, human intelligence is decaying. In first yawn, it was 100%. In second yawn, it's 50%. In third yawn, it's 25%. In fourth yawn, it's 12%, and so forth. This way, human intelligence is decayed. And that is why the problem arises. The people of the later era couldn't or can't understand the intelligence and science of the people of the previous era. So the latter era people think, oh, ancient people were superstitious. They didn't understand science. They believed in mambo jumbo. But that's not the truth. The people of latter era is wrong. They don't understand the science and intelligence of the previous era. They don't have the capacity. That is why ancient people, like say Gautam Buddha, appears to us enigmatic, puzzling. We do not understand what they said, what they did. We just it just looks to us enigmatic, confusing, and we think these are superstition. In this context, we have to understand Iliad, Odyssey, Mahabharata, Ramayana. It was written by people who were intelligence, who were superior in intelligence to us. So that's why we don't understand what they said. So it is appearing to us like superstition, mambo jumbo, to ancient mythology, Grecian mythology. Can a chimpanzee understand Big Bang theories? How space-time matter emerges from singular point? No, it doesn't understand. It doesn't have the brain to understand. Similarly, look at the ancient creation mythos. What we see that gods created the universe, the sky and earth from chaos in a magical way. So we do not understand. We don't have the capacity to understand these things because we are chimpanzees to the relative to the ancient peoples. When do we don't understand these things? We say these are superstitions, these are mythologies. But no, these are superior science which is beyond our capacity to understand. Like Big Bang theory is beyond the capacity of a chimpanzee to understand. Same goes for eschatologists. Look how Egyptians were wise Egyptians were so serious about a life after death. So they built pyramids, mummies. They're so superior because they scientifically knew that that life after death exists, but we do not have the capacity to understand. So that's why we think it's superstition. Like a chimpanzee doesn't have have the capacity to understand quantum physics, so it's nonsense to a chimpanzee. Similarly, eschatology is nonsense to us because we do not understand. Ancient Egyptians believe a man's shadow has piece of his soul. So a man's soul can get into a statue and is stuck inside it. Why they said this is because they knew the science, they had superiority in intelligence. Their superior intelligence, their science is beyond our comprehension. That's why I think that ancient Egyptians are superstitious. Now, they're scientifically superior, they're not superstitious. Like, by example, a monkey doesn't understand the theory of quantum consciousness. It doesn't have simply the capacity to understand the theory of quantum consciousness. So it might appear to it like magic. Similarly, we do not understand the ancient people's theory of soul. Let's explain biblical story of Adam and Eve. See, who are Adam and Eve? What it is talking about? It's talking about heaven bonds, heavenly creatures, superior creatures. See, it's not talking about us. We are four-footed animal, evolved from four-footed beast. We are not heavenly creatures. That's not scientific. So, and it's The story of Adam is and Eve is not talking about us. It's talking about superior creatures, the heaven borns. For example, suppose a Voyager space probe is discovered or encountered by a dog. Now, will this dog be able to understand the encrypted message written in Voyager's spacecraft? Will it be able to understand, recognize the language or symbols? No, because it doesn't have simply the brain to understand it. Similarly, think of the creation mythology of Adam and Eve. It is actually talking about heaven borns. See, it's not about us. Ancient people were superior in intelligence science. They knew about the existence of heaven borns, superior creatures, which we do not understand. They understood it. We are like a dog, who is trying to understand the encrypted message of Voyager space probe. We do not understand the story of Adam and Eve. That's why we call it superstitious. Superstition, we misinterpret it. But it is actually a cosmic message, like Voyager space probe's message.